Hi everyone, this is Lachlan again, and this time we're looking at a series of videos. And this is no paper, no excuses, no red ink, and this is part one. And this is a suggested workflow if you want to flip your classroom, if you want to try and go a little bit more paperless, or if you just want to use technology a little bit better. So this first video is about getting started, but it's about more what flipping is, or what the flipped classroom is. So what it is essentially is that students are in control of their learning. They're in control of the delivery pace, and I'll explain that in a minute. And essentially how it happens is that the teacher creates videos or assigns readings to do at home or to do before class, and then students work on activities in class while the teacher spends time one-on-one helping the students. The whole point of it is to increase their engagement and to increase your time with students and individual students, which is never a bad thing. And it's important to understand that the flipped classroom is not just about technology, it's not just about making videos, but it's about making sure students receive that differentiation. And it's about making sure that students have that time with their teacher. And this is just one of the models. There's plenty of different models of doing that, but this is just a suggested way of using technology. So what essentially it is, here's a little bit of a diagram, is that in traditional class time, the teacher instruction takes up quite a bit. I know with me, I'm speaking from experience, the teacher instruction takes up, maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then there is a student activity. That's really a skewed graph, but you get the idea. And in flipped classroom time, the teacher instruction takes maybe 5 minutes, and then the student activity takes up most of the lesson. Of course, if you're a practical subject, that's going to be look wildly different. I know if I was to do even drama, this is English, but if I was to do drama, wildly different. However, the idea of it is getting the instruction to the students one-on-one so that they can play, pause, stop, rewind. So just like this video, what I'm doing now, this is essentially what you would give students. And with the students, what they would do is that they would be able to pause you, they would be able to stop, they'd be able to write down stuff. They call the play and the rewind and the fast forward button differentiation buttons. So that gives you a bit of an idea of what the whole idea is. And here's another bit of a diagram, is that traditionally in class, it's about learning new content, teacher instruction, and maybe some skills practice. Whereas in the individual space at home, it's about assessment tasks, research projects, and sometimes learning new content. But in the flipped classroom, you take what normally happens in the individual space at home and put it in the group space in class. And what happens in the class space takes place at home. And the flipped classroom model is really great for making sure that each student has success. I've put these frequently asked questions. I've really simplified learning a flipped classroom. I've put a whole lot of resources on the Google Classroom. But if you look at this, here are 4 questions that I had when I started looking at the flipped classroom. The first is, what do I do in class time? The answer is, well, anything. You can still do worksheets, but what happens in the flipped classroom is that students have the one-on-one time with you. You've got more time to go around rather than explaining at the start. You've got time to spend that time going around with the worksheets, helping them achieve worksheets. But it could be anything to group work or research projects. Project-based learning is always really good pairing with flipped classroom. What if a student doesn't have a device at home or school? Well, then it's a little bit more difficult, but sometimes I know that some teachers make a little USB of videos if they don't have internet, but they have a computer, or if they don't have anything, they might give them readings, or they might give them separate time at the start of the lesson to watch it. There is a model which I think would work really well for our school, which is the in-flip model, which means that everything happens essentially at school. Students watch the videos when they get up to them. They can go back to the videos in your class. The in-flip model is probably what's going to work best for Wollumbin. The next one is, what if they don't do the readings or watch the video? Well, it's just like if they don't do homework. I would make them sit somewhere until they did it. If they've got their own device, they use their own device to watch it, or if it's a reading, get them to read it. Sometimes, you may be able to talk with the librarian, get them to go to the library or sit in somewhere and access their Google Classroom, get up the video. It will require a little bit of negotiation, but once it happens and they start seeing that what you're doing in class is much preferable to watching the video they should have watched, it gets better. What if I'm not good at making videos? Do not worry, there are plenty of videos online. Although they recommend that you should make the videos because it makes them connect and engage more with the video, there are plenty of videos from Khan Academy, from Jeremy Lecornu, who's a Melbourne chemistry teacher. You have tons of videos online, and it's about curating it and creating it. But if you're not good at making videos, well, have a go. You might surprise yourself. But yeah, so essentially, to sum it all up, the flipped classroom model is taking a reading or a video, putting that for homework, and then in class doing activities which link to that content, that new content. So it's a pedagogical shift. It's a way of using technology. It's a way of ensuring that students get one-on-one class time, but it's also about scaffolding their success. It's about making sure that that student can get the information that you're trying to get across succinctly, clearly, and put it into practice. So there you have it. That is the flipped classroom, and that's the basis for, I think, the workflow that I'm going to present in this series of videos.